All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time for us to move on now, and let's also tell you that we'll be talking Euro 2016 later on the show. We'll be updating you. The final game of the night is going on. Belgium and Italy is ongoing. Italy is still 1 goal up after 60 minutes of football. We'll be giving you details of that as we go on the show. We'll also, in the next couple of minutes, be talking COPA America Centenario, all of that for you on the show tonight. But before we do that, Oye, let's just quickly take a look at athletics. Over the weekend, the story that broke was about Blessing losing his African record to Muriel Aure of Cote d'Ivoire. But Blessing will be leading Team Nigeria out to the African Athletics Championship, Senior Athletics Championship in Durban, South Africa. Is that something for us to worry about?
Well, Tony, these things happen. Even Usain Bolt at a point last year was not doing so well, But the hallmark of the star athletes is to, come to the party at the highest stage, and the highest stage is for us is the Olympic Games. It doesn't count. It doesn't mean anything if you win some of these lesser tournaments. So I think for Okagbari, what we should do is to help to prepare her very well for the Olympic Games.
Mentally, psychologically,
and not put so much pressure like we did at the last Olympics in London, where literally some of the officials were begging her to save them from embarrassment. So,
but the way the preparation for these Olympics is going on, we will need to put pressure on people to save us from embarrassment.
But she cannot take up. She cannot shoulder all the responsibilities. Blessing is just. She's getting older. She got married, and the marital responsibilities will also be there. So we cannot
put pressure on her.
Put pressure because of the incompetence of of officials. You cannot now ask her to win all the medals for the country. If it's just the 100 meters that is guaranteed for her, let her participate. Other athletes are doing well in the field events. If Brumer is there for the long jump, and the other athletes are there. So if she's going to guarantee us medal, whether bronze,
long jump, or silver,
or relay, then
let's focus on that one.
Be left. The issue of trying to heap all the medal hopes on her should not count this time.
All right, Blessing will be leading. It won't be Blessing alone at the African Senior Athletics Championship in Durban, South Africa. She'll be leading 27 other athletes to that tournament, and Nigeria won it in Morocco in 2014, and we'll be hoping to reclaim that title. We've won it 8 times since the tournament began, since the championship began in 1979, and we'll be hoping to be able to do it again. All right, so that's an interesting one. We wish Blessing the best of luck. We hope that Team Nigeria can get adequately prepared and not rely on just Blessing. I remember the caption last Olympic Games, no Blessing, no medal. I hope there can be a change around all of that for Team Nigeria. We'll be going on a quick break now. When we return from this break, we'll spend some time to talk about Copa America Centenario. Join us again.
And that's a big basket. It takes it back up to 8. Remember, Harding hit a jumper right before halftime. Ugoka drives in all. And they just continue to show great resolve, Nigeria. They're not going to give in.
Well, they showed that little mix-up, match-up type zone where they flattened it off and left the high post empty, and she attacked that space.
Now to Lushenko. And Snitsina, how many times are you going to see your low post threat like Lushenko? That's big for a couple of reasons, because they really need Snitsina.
Thank you for joining us. It's time for us to move on now to the part of the show that focuses on Copa America. Onye Uchwanjuku is still with us on Sports Tonight. Onye, Copa America, we are now down to the business end. The boys have been separated from the men. But of course, before we go into all the details, the big surprise is not even Uruguay failing to qualify, it's Brazil crashing out of the group stage. And I remember we said this before, Brazil are the favorites to win every FIFA competition, but in Copa America it's different. It's very different.
Yeah, very true, Tony. I don't know why they struggle during Copa America. And I think the last time they crashed out, at the group stage was in 1987. A very long time. So you can imagine how heartbroken the Brazilian fans, and the manner with which they crashed out was quite controversial. Whether the goal was scored by the hand of the Peruvian player, still a question of so much
TV replays showed that it was
yes, it was bundled
once the referee didn't see it, it will go.
And the game had to be delayed for 4 minutes. Both players from both teams swarmed around the referee because the referee was not decisive. He had to look at his assistant referee, who told him that it was a goal. The referee was not sure. 4 minutes, was enough time to cause so much controversy. And because of his lack of discretion and decisiveness, the controversy had to linger on. It took some shine off the game. Brazil needed a goalless draw to advance.
Or even a draw.
To advance. But quite unfortunate. After that goal was scored, they tried as much as possible to get the equalizer, but it didn't come. So sad. The nightmare continues for the Brazilian fans. And for Dunga, I think his fate should be hanging in the balance at the moment.
What can save Dunga now is winning gold at the Olympic Games. Well, we'll leave that for some other time. We're still going to talk about that game and other stories around it. But let's start by, because the last time we had this segment on Sports on I was on Friday, a lot happened between Saturday, Sunday, and early this morning. So let's just start by showing you some of the results of the previous games. On Saturday, Chile bounced back after losing the first game to Argentina. They bounced back. They beat Bolivia 2-1. Argentina, of course, showing a lot of promise. Lionel Messi with a great impact in this game, beat Panama 5-0. I'm sure it's not a surprise that Argentina won so convincingly. Then on Sunday, we had some other interesting results as well, which was what we just talked about. Brazil crashing out in the group phase, easily one of the biggest upsets you will ever find in world football. Brazil failing to qualify beyond the group phase and Copa America. And then Ecuador trashing 4-0, leaving Ecuador and Peru to qualify for the quarterfinals. It's really, really amazing. Onye, Brazil struggled without Neymar in this competition. Og and some of the other big boys just couldn't, they couldn't just stand up for the team.
Yeah, I think in a tournament, you hardly get a team that is built around one player making it. Sometimes it happens, like in 1986 World Cup, when Maradona single-handedly, shouldered the responsibility and, they won the work. But Mexico and the rest have shown that you need a team, because anything can happen. Your star player may
have an off day.
They could be injured. The other players should be able to rise up to the responsibility and take up the challenge. But the other players in the Brazilian national team, have led their countrymen and they have not risen up to the occasion. And,
Coutinho saved them in that second game.
Yes,
against 80, but
Coutinho, and again, some of the players had a very hectic season. These are players that are playing regularly for their club sides in Europe.
Some of them played up to the final of the Euros.
Absolutely. And
final of the Europa League.
You always see that element of the law of diminishing return affecting the team. So the coach has to be very creative. Make some of the players that are still fresh with as long as they progress in the tournament. But as it is now, I don't know how they're going to do it. They talk that without Neymar, the Brazilian team cannot fly. It's such a shame because they have a lot of quality. They have a lot of quality in the team. So, but for them, they have to try their luck elsewhere in the next tournament. And like you said, at the next Olympic Games. And we just hope
a few weeks away.
Just a few weeks. We hope that
they are hosting on home soil.
We just hope that Neymar's preference for the Olympic Games, would count for.
It should not count for them because Nigeria is also at the Olympics. It should not count for them. Anyway, let's move quickly now. Still talking Copa America. In a few hours from now, we'll be moving to the next round of games. Let's just quickly show you fixtures of the games to be played. This group is already decided. Group C is already decided. Mexico and Venezuela are already through. They're just playing for who tops the group. Uruguay and Jamaica are already out. Just like Brazil, nobody is standing up to be counted for Uruguay.
Well,
Luis Suarez is struggling and they are out.
Well, the octogenarian coach has moved on. He said they will now have to focus their attention on the World Cup qualifier, that it will be more of a disaster if they don't qualify. But, you know, I think they too had some issues. You know, their star player got a hamstring injury at the Copa del Rey final. Then another player that was supposed to, you know, get the goals for them, Edison Cavani, you know, was the worst culprit in the last game they played. And open one-on-one chance, he missed. And if you have some of these players who don't rise up to the occasion, there's no way you move forward as a team. So for me, I think it was a gamble. Suarez wanted to play. There was a time television pictures showed
almost substituting himself.
Yeah, almost substituting himself. But the coach decided that he was not fit for the game. So we don't know. It was a gamble that it didn't pay off, and they have to move on. You know, it's one of the favorites. You know, crashing out like Brazil. I think they have the same fate. Maybe they have to look inwards. Look at Oscar Tabarez has been there for a long time.
Bringing a coach with fresh ideas.
Yeah, fresh ideas that will move the national team forward.
All right, let's take a look, just do a summary now of what Copa America has been up till now. Take a look at the teams that are through to the next round, starting, of course, from Group A. The Americans really came good. They won their last game 2-1 against Paraguay. That was good enough for them to top the group on goal difference because they were tied on points with Colombia. Colombia losing 2-3 to Costa Rica. So the Americans have come good. This surely should take some pressure off the shoulders of Jürgen Klinsmann, the German. Yeah,
I think Jürgen Klinsmann has walked his talk. You know, before this tournament, he placed so much faith in his team. Their first game against Colombia didn't go their way, but he showed the true strength of character of any team. After the first defeat, they bounced back, and now they are in the quarterfinal. And in that group, there's already a casualty to him. The Paraguayan coach has resigned. You know, after. Failing to see his team through
to the next round.
Not to the next round.
And of course, we've talked about Group D extensively. Brazil and Haiti are the teams going home in Group B. In Group C, already Jamaica and Uruguay are the teams that are not going to progress. All right, so that group is also decided. We're just waiting for who will be topping that group at the end of it all. And then finally, Group D, the games are going to be played very early this morning. In the next a few hours from now, I beg your pardon, Argentina look good already, and we'll wait to see how this will also progress by the time the games are played tomorrow. That's Group D for you. All right, we can't end this segment without talking about the impact of the little man. Missed the first game against Chile, came in as a sub in the second game, and did what only Lionel Messi will do: a sub coming to get a hat-trick.
In fact, it was so interesting because the Argentines were just leading by a lone goal, and it was as if their opponents from Panama were going to equalize, even with 10 men. You know, but when they held on until Lionel Messi came onto the game and scored the hat-trick. In fact, the coach from Panama described him as a beast. That there's no way
beast mode.
There's no way you can stop the best player in the world, and you know. That underscores the influence of Lionel Messi on the Argentine team. You know, so much. I don't really envy him because so much, you know, it's on his shoulders.
An Argentine team overflowing with quality in every department.
Absolutely. Aguero scored.
You can afford to rest Messi for some of these games.
Yes, Aguero scored in the game, in that game, and you could be tempted to say, okay, it's Panama. But I mean, in the Copa America, we have seen odd results. We have seen so much upsets. You know, teams have arrived with so much. Surprises and expectations. So I think for Lionel Messi, perhaps this could be one of you know, his best tournaments.
The tournament where he will win something
for the
at the senior level.
You know, so you can't really talk so much about this player. And the Argentine, you know, dominating the game and scoring 5-0. That has put them in a right psychological frame of mind for
the rest of the
competition.
All right, we have to close it on that note, and of course tell you that Sports Tonight will continue in a moment. Join us again.